quarter. Baker Mayfield had 3 touchdown passes with no turnovers, while Big Ben Roethlisberger threw for just over 500 yards, but had 4 interceptions. The Browns got their first playoff win in 26 years and did it with head coach Kevin Stefanski and others at home due to COVID. So, Marcellus, just had to let that breathe.
Let it breathe. I can hear it. I can feel it. Get him out, y'all.
So, Marcellus, are you impressed with the Browns or disappointed in the Steelers?
I'm disappointed in the Steelers. I'm going to say this because it feels like this is taking me back. This is almost post-traumatic stress right now I'm going through in this moment. Child Protection Services, statute of limitations, so this won't count against mama. Rest in peace. You ever, the moments before spanking, you try to talk your way through it and talk your way out of it, mama. But the reason is, and I ain't do that, and my sister and your mama just sitting there like, I feel like that right now. You just looking at me like my mom, Just go ahead and say what you're gonna say about these damn Steelers and how disappointed you are, and I'm gonna do it. But I know, why? I know it's coming because the Steelers didn't handle their business. I'm just going to start off with a nugget to hopefully protect me in the force field because I can't believe what happened. I actually predicted what happened. We'll get to that later. Steelers, what the hell were y'all thinking when Captain Ben Roethlisberger, Captain, pounce? You can't even snap the ball on the first play from scrimmage.
Bad.
Beyond bad, it was so telling that this team wasn't ready from the hello. And because they weren't ready from hello, it was the imperfect storm. I've never seen this many bad things happen for a team at once to the point where you blink, it's 28 donut after the first quarter. So I don't really have a ton to say. I could beat you up, but I actually want to hear you whip me, mama, and then let me talk back because it was just really, it was really wild to watch a team in the playoffs, 11-0 team at one time, fall from those heights to the moment where you saw even the first play from scrimmage in the playoffs, do or die. They weren't ready for that moment. But Acho, that wasn't really a take. That was just a preparation for this.
Marcellus,
I know.
Some people, incredibly mature people in this world, incredibly wise people in this world, so they don't relish in other people's pain.
Okay.
Right? Like some incredibly mature individuals, they don't relish in saying, I told you so.
I love you, Acho.
I'm not some people. Because I told you so. What did I tell you, Sal?
What?
On Friday, on October 7th, on week 16, I came on this show, and I'm yelling for a reason, America, because this hard-headed individual right here don't want to hear when I use my inside voice. So now I got to yell. I said the Browns are top 10 in rush offense, didn't I?
Yeah.
I said the Browns are top 10 in rush defense, didn't I?
Yeah.
I said the Browns are top 10 in turnover margin, didn't I?
I heard.
Yeah, that's what I said, Marcellus.
I got lost.
And what happened yesterday? The Browns ran the ball, the Browns stopped the run, and the Browns won the turnover battle 5-0. Marcellus came on the show on Friday and said, Acho, I ain't worried about the Browns. They beat the Steelers JV team week 17. I said, Marcellus, I understand that they beat the Steelers JV team, but it's not about who they beat, it's about how they played. That's what I said. I said, it's not about who they beat, it's about how they played. That's what I said. I said, it's not about who they beat, Marcellus. It's about how they played. So what happened when they played the Steelers varsity team? It didn't matter who was there. The opponents were nameless. The opponents were faceless. The opponents were just the opponents. What happened? Bring up the full screen.
Oh, my God.
Bring up the full screen.
This is your moment.
The Steelers weren't able to stop the run because the Browns could run the ball. Oh, my God. And the Browns could stop the run. Look at the rushing differential. It was plus 75 for the Browns. But bump all that. Get to the turnover margin. Plus 5. Marcellus, I'm not just up here talking out my behind. I know sometimes I talk out my behind, sometimes I don't. But when I talk about my Browns, I talk from my heart. Think about this. 5 out of the 6 teams that won the playoff games, they won the rushing margin. They won running the ball. 5 out of the 6 teams that won the playoff game this weekend, they won or tied the turnover margin. Marcellus, it is not quantum physics. It is not rocket science. If you can run the ball and if you can stop the run, you can win the game. That's what the Browns have done all season long. That's what they did against the Steelers. I'm impressed with the Browns. You finally got to take these Browns seriously. I'm so glad you got to take these Browns seriously and stop all that foolishness. And don't worry, because Bucky Brooks coming on the show here soon, and I saved a couple lashes for him, too.
2 things right there. I'm not hard-headed. I'm just a man of conviction. When I believe it, I believe it. And I'm going to ride down there till the wheels fall off. Another thing, since you want to bring up 5 of 6 teams that won this weekend by running the football.
Yes, sir.
You know, I was actually 5-0 in terms of predictions. Not only predictions, but tone, style, win-loss differential, like in terms of point difference. I was nailing them. And then I looked at my wife and I looked at her and said, "Oh, you look good, girl." Then I also said, "Baby, no one's perfect in this world. So this 6th game is going to be interesting." Who in the hell knew? You talking about running the football, stopping the run. Oh, you knew that Pouncey was going to snap the ball to the end zone.
I didn't. That was irrelevant.
How the hell is that irrelevant? I'm going to tell you why it's irrelevant. Go ahead. Wait. You gave the wrong team the right opportunity in terms of a team that can run the football, in terms of a team that had a quarterback that's a leader, that is more of a front runner, that is more of a guy who likes adversity. But you know what? In this moment, he had no adversity, and he said, "You know what? I don't know what to do. I got these fresh legs. We in practice all week. I'm out here without a coach." Alex Van Pelt called a hell of a game. Give him all the credit in the world. That's my former teammate. And the Browns went out there and saw the Pittsburgh Steelers play a bad game of Uno. You ever play a bad game of Uno? You ever seen somebody play a bad game of Uno? They got draw fours in their hand, and they just start playing them early. Don't play the draw fours too early. You know why? Because now you give me a bunch of cards to play with my damn self. That's what happened in this game. I swear the Pittsburgh Steelers just said, "Okay, we're going to figure out how we're going to play y'all, but we're going to give y'all 28 and then go." You notice in this game, after they blinked, it was 28 donut. The rest of the way, it was 37-20 Pittsburgh. But they were so deep in that hole, they couldn't do anything. Did you think that Juju and his bulletin board material will blow up in his face in that fashion?
I did. I'm going to get to that later.
Oh, you going to get to that? Okay, man. See, I can't predict all these things. I can't predict Pouncey doing that. I can't predict Juju doing that and the impact it's going to have. All I'm saying is football, if they were to play again this week, Pittsburgh will mop them boys. But here we go. They're not, and I'm going to let that go because I don't want to sound like that when I go to Cleveland whenever I do. I don't want to be that dude, but I am not going to lie. This wasn't just a game that you lost. This was a game that they gave you in terms of how the Pittsburgh Steelers performed.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, obviously, they played bad. Terrible.
No, don't do that. Worse than that.
Yeah, they played terrible.
Worse than that.
But I'm not going to act like the Browns did not play a factor. Outside of Pouncey's terrible snap first play of the game, like, the Browns gave them that work. They gave them that.
Really? They lose by 11?
And you
give them 7?
The game of football, you knew this because you was in the trenches. I just toy with the trenches. I'll be jump in, jump out, turn. I didn't stay in the trenches, but you know this. The game of football is about imposing your will on another man. God, dog, it's like, oh my God, no, don't do this, don't do this. The game of football is, hey, I know you're going to run the ball, and I can't stop you. I want to stop you, but I can't. And the Browns said, hey, Steelers, y'all know what we going to do. We about to line up in 12 personnel with 2 tight ends, 13 personnel with 3 tight ends, and we just going to run the ball. Good luck stopping us. So, yes, the Steelers made some mistakes, but the Browns caused several of those mistakes. Here's the other thing. Here's why I was so impressed with the Browns. Because they did what they've done all season. Baker didn't play out of his mind. Baker all season, 61% completion percentage. Yesterday, 62% completion percentage. Baker all season, 220 yards a game. Yesterday, 260 yards a game. Baker all season thrown 1 interception in his last 349 passes. Yesterday, no interceptions. Baker did what Baker has done all season long.
But the Steelers didn't do what they've done all season long.
They didn't.
And that's the problem. Look, I don't want to make excuses, and I know having an argument.
Then don't.
Well, I can't come up here for 10 minutes and let you just talk and nothing else.
Okay, you're right. Fight that.
But, man, this is a weird place because we've been there before. You win games you shouldn't, and you lose games you're like, damn, should we have lost that game? This is just one that I'm indifferent about. If not, I'm saying Steelers, why'd you lose this game? Ben Roethlisberger, 3 first-half turnovers. Ben Roethlisberger, like, Pouncey, snap the ball. Like, when you can't snap the ball, that lets me know, it's fall apart from the seams. This is a different game. Browns ball. How the Browns